Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So I wasn't going to do a video today, although I had done a makeup tutorial, but I'm not sure if I'll put that on or not. But I have been watching, I don't know if you recall, that we were talking about 3 weeks ago, I think it was. It was to do with the suicide of the Bollywood actor Sushant Singh Rajput, a 34-year-old. And I've been following a lot of the YouTube videos about him and the investigation, and I have been a fan of crime investigation for years, and I used to read a lot about serial killers and all that sort of stuff, you know, the Moors and the Wests and all the others in between. And before my son was born, I loved watching CSI crime. And so what's really good about this, and this is a YouTuber called Kumar, and he's a forensic expert, and he's studied here in the UK as well as getting a lot of awards and recognition in India, and he does like all these online lectures. And one of the comments that he was presented, it was like, you know, through his educational channel was, you know, sir, can you base some of these, you know, your lessons, your tutorials on real life scenarios? And falls in his lap this case of Sushant Rajput thing. And what is really brilliant is, you know, I think what it is, right, it's a huge generalization. When we're born, obviously, in this country, born and brought up in this country, and everything that we do and whatever is in my face so far, is based on our knowledge in this country. And I think we have a lot of prejudice against developing countries and how they operate and so on and so forth. Perhaps based on some personal experiences or whatever, you know. So when the videos and stuff start coming up about, you know, these assumptions, what could have happened to Sushant Singh, I was like, yeah, whatever. And but this guy, wow, you've got to watch it. He does it in English and he does it in Hindi as well. And he is such a professional. Obviously, he has this experience and over 50 years of experience, and has a lot of you know, precise knowledge. And because I watch all these crime investigation stuff and think, oh my god, yeah, he's so good, you know, and he's Indian, and he's as if I should be surprised. And what he does in his videos is he explains the situation or the scenarios based on evidence, you know, based on what he would teach, what he has learned, and what his field involves, his forensic science. And forensic science is brilliant. I just always wish someone in my family went into that. I wish my son would go into it. I wish I could go into it, you know. Love it. So I saw a few things he had brought up, and if you haven't seen, you've got, even if you just like it for interest, obviously the context is this, you know, this event that's happened, but he's connecting the two with a real life situation as per his students have requested. And of course, what comes with that is a lot of backlash. With anything that we do in life, when we put ourselves on social media and whatever, there is going to be a backlash. And so there's a lot of backlash. There are people who have suggested that he's you know, one way opinionated, you know, he's got a tunnel vision about something that he wants to prove, and he gives disclaimers and whatever. And there's some people obviously wants them to shut up because, you know, the things are happening. So what he went through differences between strangulation and hanging, right? Because he's going through like different scenarios, and he's basing it on photographic evidence that has surfaced on the YouTube and videos that have been circulated, like inside jobs, whatever. And he's pulled everything apart. And what he's trying to say is that so he's brought up like this picture, and he's obscured the face and everything about the ligature marks, and, you know, like if it's strangulation, you know, it's a circular mark that goes around, and if it is a hanging, it's more of a V shape. And obviously when you pull, it's different, the whole weight gets shifted to the top. And so he's like, straight away goes like, you know what, you don't need to be a rocket science, it's not strangulation, it's not hanging, it's not from hanging. It brings up other things like, you know, your eyes do protrude and your lips does, you know, protrude and whatever, because you're gagging. Which again, he showed evidence, like really like little bits and stuff just for evidence, and he goes, clearly not, you know. And then he was looking at his body, you know, in terms of rigor mortis, and if, you know, and he went through so many different slides, educational slides, not you know, all that sort of stuff, and he even demonstrated certain angles on himself. Obviously he's not gonna do that. He brought up a lot of things about the reports to say that it's loss of oxygen, right? Asphyxia, I can't say the word, but anyway, so he goes, yeah, but that is just basically lack of oxygen to the brain that causes brain death. But what caused that, you know? So in the report it says that, but that is what led to the death, but it's the cause of that asphyxiation. So it could be smothering, it could be hanging, it could be strangulation, and so on and so forth. So he's ruled out. I mean, he goes, you know, the first evidence, it's just itself, it's not by hanging. And then he went through in his videos. I mean, I'm still waiting like for his video to come up, and he then explained, right? He goes, look at, you know, everything is coming out that he is a suicide. So let's go through this. Let's just go through this case and this argument, this scenario. And he got, okay, let's look at the weight. You know, you have to look at the crime scene, the physical, circumstantial, and all that sort of stuff. So he goes, like, you know, the ceiling and his height, subtract, you know, the height of the bed, the position of the fan, the length of the fan. He goes, can't be serious. You can't be hanging. I mean, seriously, you can't be hanging. And then he focused, another video was focusing on this ligature mark, right? So he was like saying that there's a gap here. So the ligature mark, it stops here, like right there, okay? And then there's a couple of marks there, and there's a really big pressure mark there. Either it's his fingers, who he's trying to hold himself, trying to, you know, whatever. And then he goes, I know what it is. Look at it straight. It can't be this because it's a cloth. It can't be that because it's this. But it has to be a belt. Okay. And then he comes up, he goes, oh my God. He goes, the dog's belt. And he had the dog, and this is the dog's belt. And the dog's, by the way, apparently has died. I don't know. And he goes, I've been, and he posts his videos like 4 o'clock in the morning. He goes, I just can't sleep. I just need to like crack this. And he goes, because I want to know what this is. And he goes, got it. And he goes, I am not going to say this is suicide because every single evidence that we've got leads us away from suicide. It's a botched up job. Obviously he was cremated, so there's no evidence on his body. Everything, you know, we can't, I mean, I don't understand why they were cremating, because if it's regardless, you'd have, I don't know, like here the coroner's office will keep him in the morgue until something is solved, right? But they cremate him the next day. So all the evidence on him. So all they've got now are the pictures of his body, like, you know, that were shared and whatever. No, not from the mortuary, but whoever took pictures when they were there. And he would dispelled everything, like everything. And he goes, I know what it is. He goes, if you look at his mouth is partially open. Yeah, partially open. His eyes, he had one eye just slightly open, the other one slightly closed. He goes, either he was intoxicated, which we haven't got his results, because even the pathologists are saying that it was suicide. Based on what? And then he goes, from his eyes, he's not bloodshot, he hasn't got those marks, whatever marks he called them. And he goes, the way his mouth is like, you know, he was smothered. He was intoxicated, smothered, and that's ruled out, you know, the protruding guy, whatever, because he was already gone before they hung him, partial hanging. And he goes, he was strangled, you know, and somebody strangled from the back, you know, put the belt around there, and that's why it ends here. And obviously, when you're strangling, you're putting your fingers on the neck, and then you're also strangling on the cord. There are finger marks and the pressure points, and I was jumping up in glee thinking, oh my God, they've cracked it, because I haven't been called you know, to lead it, and I can't talk about him in general because, you know, but this is just from my things. He goes, you know, so these are the things, and these are the questions one should be asking, and these are whatever. So he's trying to lead his investigation even though not involved in investigation. But if you haven't seen his videos, Bhupesh Kumar, you have to. I'm gonna put a link on there so that you can download it, and trust you me, I am so excited for the next episode of CSI Bollywood.